Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DIRTtrackdigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on DIRTtrack Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon. Good evening. This is the 31st Lap. Flying solo tonight, everybody. In the dirt motorsports world has got their eyes trained on Charlotte, Mike, and John, both down there. So we're going to be doing a quick and abbreviated version of the program this evening, just to kind of give you an update on what all exactly is going on. And we're going to dive right into this thing. Charlotte World Finals, they are set up for this weekend. All of the major tours on dirt surfaces are in action through the course of this weekend, and they're going to wrap up their season. So the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, late models, and also the Super DIRTcar Series are all going to put an exclamation point on their 2014 seasons. And we got a battle. There's going to be a couple features for the modifieds. Matt Shepard currently is on top of the point standings going into that as of the 27th of October. So that gives us the update once we got past Eastern States weekend. Shepard is leading by 1 point. His 3 wins, 11 top 5s, 14 top 10s have led him to a 1 point lead going into double features here coming up this weekend at the World Finals, and as he tries to chase down another Super DIRTcar Series championship. Billy Decker second, 2,515 points to his credit. Colin Brewerton and Fulton, his home track, he's got 3 wins, 9 top 5s, 13 top 10s to his credit. Brett Hearn, who was looking like he was in really good shape, has plummeted to third after some tough luck at Syracuse. He was able to rebound with that win there at Eastern States, but also had a bit of a tough go in Brockville, Ontario Speedway. So he sits third right now, but he's only 52 points behind Jimmy Phelps, Justin Harris, Larry White, follow Eric Rudolph, Pete Britton, Gary Tompkins, Pat Ward, rounding out the top 10. Stuart Friesen on the outside looking in. At this point, he's 12th, only showing one home track at this point, whereas most of those other guys that are up there in the top 10 are showing 2 home tracks to pull from. And it's interesting company that he keeps sitting there in 12th. They show the money won by Pat Ward this year, $8,850. The money won by Billy Van Inwagen, $8,275. Behind him, Keith Flack is 13th, $7,960. Stu Friesen sits there in 12th, $61,300. That's been bolstered by that win over there in Syracuse. So that's what the points look like at this point. There's going to be 2 feature races down there. Matt Shepard again. He's going to be the one to watch. I would really like to go. I don't think it's even going out on a limb. Probably not even fair to say that. I'd really like to go on record right now saying that he's the one that's probably going to be coming away with the championship. Those guys run so good down there all the time. I mean, it's going right down to the final minute. It's going to be really exciting to watch that and keep track of it through the course of the weekend as they wrap up all of that. They've got I think they had hot laps tonight. Then they've got the whole qualifying program is tomorrow, so they're going to run 2 sets of heat races, setting the stage for the features on the subsequent nights. We're going to be pulling up and looking at the schedule a little bit deeper here as we move through the evening. Matt Shepard has titles 3 years in a row, 2010, 2011, 2012, and looking to pick up number 4 down there. Let's see if we still, there it is. I knew we had pulled it up. And of course it's not there. Should have pulled that up a little bit better. My mistake. Anyway, so this deal with Charlotte here, we've got the points for that tour. Let's take a quick look at what's going on in the World of Outlaws STP Sprint Car Series. Donnie Schatz, it's pretty much all in the books for him with 26 wins. He's 316 points up on Darren Pittman. Paul McMahon sits third. Kerry Madsen and Joey Saldana round out the top 5. Joey Saldana, a mere 711 points behind at this point. So Donnie Schatz sitting in real good shape at this point. Sammy Swindell, he is the first one outside of the top 13, as it were. He sits 14th, and He only needs to make up 6,000 points in order to factor into the final points equation. Great season for Donnie Schatz. I mean, there's really nothing you can take away from that guy. Just an outstanding run. We were able to talk a little bit about that last week and how impressive 26 wins in a single season is with the World of Outlaws, especially with the level of competition that they've got, both from within their group and when they travel to different necks of the woods. They're certainly challenged by some of this local talent. There's a solid contingent in Pennsylvania that always give those guys a run for their money, and Donnie Schatz here just last week ends up getting driven past and was relegated to second place. But take nothing away from him. 26 wins, and it's only looking up for him. From here, we're also looking at a couple of things that are going on with the World of Outlaws late models with Daryl Lanigan. 16 wins on the season. It sets a new record following his win at Berlin. He tied the record. I believe he tied the record at Selinsgrove, and picking up win number 15. So now it sets the remarkable standard with 16 wins, over $275,000 won on the tour this year. Daryl Lanigan looking like he is well on his way to collecting another World of Outlaws Series championship. Rick Eckert, who's been driving the house car for Rocket Chassis, is currently second in the points. Tim McCready's third. He picked up a win here at the end of August. He's third. Eckert's 284 points back. McCready at this point is Tim McCready is 334 points back. Morgan Bagley, Chubb Frank fill out the top five. Eric Wells, Shane Clanton, Frank Heckenast, Clint Smith, and Chase Youngjohn rounding out the top 10. Great season for those guys. I mean, we've got a couple of our here modified talent that have gone on and followed a good chunk of that tour, and those guys are still turning heads and winning races. Tim McCready, again, he's got a good season coming together, past champion in his own right, past Rookie of the Year award winner on the World of Outlaws circuit. Pretty exciting stuff on deck here as we get ready to dive headlong into Charlotte, and we look a little bit more about what this weekend entails. It's a special weekend when you've got all these guys in one spot for to cap the season the way that they have mapped out with all the different qualifying events and all the attention that this event has really begun to get. Again, we talked a little bit about the qualifying setup for tonight, and then the first feature. We're going to have all the qualifying heat races tonight, which is where, like I alluded to, which is where John and Mike are. They're down there tonight. They got the first set of features tomorrow, and then the second set of features is going to be on Saturday, and that's when everything is going to wrap up. And the closest battle of the three divisions that we're watching at this point, it is among the modified contingent that we're so used to seeing here on a weekly basis right here at home. There was some more news and stuff that had come out. We alluded to a little bit. Let me see if I can pull that back up here. Josh Richards is going to be back in a car making his return to the World of Outlaws late models. Had some nerve damage in his hands. We talked a little bit about that. He drove a car in Eldora, and then he had another start scheduled where he was going to run side by side with Rick Eckert in the Rocket House car. And so now here we are coming up onto the World Finals weekend where he's going to be back into the car with the World of Outlaws late model. So it's good to see that return. It was nerve damage that they're going to continue to monitor. It's not something that has particularly healed. It's at least in a manageable condition, and it's just nerve damage that has come from driving race cars, be it the vibrations that are constantly going through your hands and up through your wrists, or injuries sustained when you hit the wall and things along those lines. It's just been this aggregate result is this nerve damage and this problem that he's had with his hands, which has kept him out of the car this year. So good to see that he's been able to make that return. And like I said, he was in competition in Eldora, and now he's going to be back in the car with the World of Outlaws late models here this weekend. Wish him the best. And Rick Eckert, not looking good, to be honest, not looking real good for Rick Eckert's odds of winning the championship. Daryl Lanigan has just had everybody just in a stranglehold, 16 wins, and just running at the front, lap event after event. And we've seen this from him before, and it paid dividends for him last time. So we'll safely assume that it's going to be Donnie Schatz and Daryl Lanigan, and from there, it's up for grabs on who's going to come away with the modified portion of the World Finals weekend. Not a whole ton of local racing stuff coming up. For me, we're getting ready to leave for Topeka here next Wednesday. We'll be flying out Wednesday and touching down, and we'll be doing shows with the Crash Course Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Topeka, then flying home. So there's not going to be any 31st lap next week at this juncture. I suppose anything could happen, but I'm not anticipating it because I am going to be in Topeka, Kansas, and at that point we're probably going to be doing the heat draw show right here on Finger Lakes 1. We recapped the schedule. We looked at a little bit of what's coming up. I know everybody's already turned over and flipped the switch and gone over to look at what's going on. We pretty much gave you the lowdown on what the what the point standings look like, what you can expect at the World Finals. That track, it's a 4/10 mile track that's right outside of Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's located just off the main compound for the Super Speedway where the NASCAR series run. Beautiful facility, aluminum grandstands. It's beautifully well lit. If you haven't seen the track before in person, you got to make the trip down and check it out. And this would be the prime weekend to go. If you have the chance to get in the car and take off, it's about probably 13 hours or 9 hours, depending on how bad you want to get there. And you can jump in the car and you can head down there tomorrow and catch some of the best racing action that you're ever going to see in that track. Like I said, it is absolutely beautiful. We've worked there before. Mike and I have been there together, and it is one that you don't want to miss. Excellent program, excellent racing, and it's going to crown our three champions here in each of the major touring divisions on dirt surfaces with the modifieds, the World of Outlaws sprint cars, and the World of Outlaws late models. I think we're going to probably put a quick fork in this. I mean, most everybody's wanting to flip over if they haven't already kicked over to the online coverage of the action down there in Charlotte. We appreciate you tuning into a short and sweet version of the 31st lap. We appreciate everybody that comes on and joins us here on a weekly basis. That's going to do it for us, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks, which is going to put us right about the time of just before Thanksgiving. We'll be back again with the next edition of the 31st lap. Thanks a lot.